am flanked by fellow advocates behind us and some of the parents of the Gen Zs who were arrested during the 25th of June protest and Sabasaba. I'm also flanked by one of the young people on my left side and another young person on my right side who have been charged with some of them with terrorism, some of them with arson, and many other crimes. This statement is in regard to safeguarding Kenya's youth and defending Article 37 of the Constitution of Kenya and further exposing state terrorism. The 50 plus million Kenyans campaign announces a significant milestone in our mission of safeguarding Kenya's youth, defending Article 37 and exposing state terrorism. 111 young Kenyans have regained their freedom through our citizen-led bail fundraising initiative. An additional 80 protesters have been supported by the campaign to privately post bail, bringing the total number of maandamano citizens freed to 227. From July 17th to August 18, 2025, our movement mobilized Kenya shillings 2,841,891 from ordinary Kenyans, demonstrating unprecedented solidarity in safeguarding Kenya's youth from state persecution. This represents 57% of our Kenya shillings 5 million target. With Kenya shillings 2.158109 remaining to continue our mission of defending Article 37 and securing freedom for more peaceful protesters. In phase 1 of the campaign, July 17th to 31st, 93 protesters were bailed out, with an additional 18 freed in phase 2, August 1st to 18th. Of these 111 freed protesters, 97.3%, 108 are men, and 2.7% free are women. One of the young protesters, Njeri, 23 years old, who was arrested in Juja, is with us here today and was only released from Langata Women's Prison yesterday. These 111 young people were detained following the 25th of June and July 7, 2025 demonstrations against police brutality and the extrajudicial killings of young protesters in June 2024 and Albert Ojwang in June 2025. Their arrests, detention, and prosecution on charges including terrorism constitute a gross affront to the Constitution of Kenya on multiple fronts. Today, you will hear firsthand about the brutal treatment and persecution these young people have endured at the hands of arresting and detention officers in various remand facilities and police stations across the country. Their harrowing stories are a constant reminder of the criminalization of youth voices and must serve as a wake-up call to every Kenyan who believes in the solemn call of our national anthem represented in our flag, Haki Iwe Ngao na Mlinzi. Ms. Wako will take over.
Continue the statement. The scope of state persecution. Currently, 75 Kenyans are being charged with terrorism at Kahawa Court, while another 450 face serious criminal charges in Kajiado, Thika, Makadara, Ngong, Nanyuki, and Naivasha magistrate courts. Particularly concerning charges such as participating in demonstrations, holding stones ready to commit crime, protesting and throwing stones, going to protest without a letter, arranging demonstrations. These charges clearly point to a systematic attempt to criminalize peaceful protest itself. We have documented accounts from youth detailing the manner of their arrests, which expose gross misconduct in police stations. Young people captured while visiting or attempting to bail out their friends, citizens lured by police under false pretenses, arrests based solely on fitting the profile of a Gen Z protester, detention without court presentation, denial of medical services despite visible injuries and bullet wounds, starvation tactics to force admission of guilt in court. We are therefore filing a constitutional petition against the state, presenting clear evidence of state terrorism against Mandamano youth, demanding justice, accountability, and adherence to the rule of law. The majority of arrested young people come from humbled backgrounds and live on society's margins. They are hustlers, depending on local communities for vibarua work, matatu touts whose livelihoods center on bus stops, in political markets, and politically active citizens, unafraid to demand a better Kenya and justice for fellow youth slain by police. I'll hand over to my colleague Melvin, who will give us the demographics.
Thank you. The age demographics reveal targeting of youth. Average age of those arrested are 24 years. At least 10 minors as young as 15 years old detained. Oldest detainee we had is 61 years old. 7 minors arrested from Juja and 3 from Bishogo were released unconditionally upon court presentation. High school students aged between 17 and 19 released on cash bail now balance school attendance with court appearances while bearing the burden of terrorism charges. We, as a coalition of concerned citizens under the name 50 plus million Kenyans, which comprises families to those arrested, legal counsel, and civic actors, wish to raise alarm at the disturbing escalation in the misuse of terrorism-related charges against young Kenyans. In just the past month, 75 youth have been arraigned under terrorism charges. To put this in perspective, Kenya has recorded fewer than 15 terrorism cases in the last decade. This unprecedented spike cannot be explained as a coincidence, or as genuine national security threats. Instead, it reflects a dangerous weaponization of the law to silence legitimate dissent, intimidate a generation, and destabilize communities. Article 29 of the Constitution of Kenya guarantees every individual the right to freedom and security of the person, including freedom from arbitrary arrest and detention. Article 50 provides the right to a fair hearing, while the principle of innocence until proven guilty lies at the heart of our justice system. The use of inflated bail terms, baseless terrorism charges, and prolonged detention undermines these constitutional guarantees and erodes public trust in the rule of law. A state that equates young people exercising their civic right to terrorism endangers democracy itself. National security cannot be used as a pretext to strip citizens of their constitutional protections. Behind every statistic is a family in crisis. Many of these arrested are breadwinners, students, and caregivers. Families have been left traumatized not only from the arrest but also from the crippling financial strain of exorbitant bail terms, lost incomes, and disrupted livelihoods. Some of the youth you will be speaking to today are fighting auctioneers. Engagements have been broken off due to incarceration. Businesses have crumbled. Mothers, fathers, and siblings bear heavy emotional scars, destabilizing households and entire communities. The victims and families of those detained are with us here today to bear witness to this suffering and to remind us that these are not faceless numbers but real lives being torn apart. Our call today, we call upon the state to seize the misuse of terrorism laws as tools of political repression, and independent institutions and civil society to join in defending the Constitution and safeguarding the dignity and security of all Kenyans. The next part will be read by our colleague Fred.
Thank you, ladies. My name is Frederick Omondi. I'm from Knights and Dames Afrique National, a global research implementation think tank. I'll read the acknowledgements. To Kenyans, amidst the gloomy picture, we would like to thank all Kenyans for their resilience, solidarity with for their resilience and solidarity with Maandamano youth across the country. To the judiciary, we would also like to thank the judiciary officers at Kahawa Law Courts for the precedent setting decisions. We also acknowledge the professionalism and efficiency of registry and probation departments at Kahawa Law Courts for efficiency in preparing pre-bail reports and expediting the same reports. This moment is not just about those arrested. It is about the kind of republic we want and we are building. If we allow the arbitrary labeling of youth people as terrorists, we normalize fear, injustice, and instability for all. Kenya's constitution was born from sacrifice and struggle. It must not be reduced to a piece of paper ignored in moments of political convenience. We stand firm in demanding justice, accountability, and protection of the constitutional rights. Signed, the 50+ million Kenyans campaign.